Hello, you beautiful fucking stoners. Hello, you beautiful fucking witches. It's that time again, Witchy Weekends time. So I appreciate the fuck out of you for being here. If you're live, welcome. If you're not, welcome. My name's Amber Lalana. You are going to be viewing the Canna Coven today for Witchy Weekends every Sunday at 4 Eastern. And catch us next Sunday for the next one. But today we are talking about the moon, all about the moon, all about the moon. So we're going to cram some real big information in here since it's all about the moon. It's a lot of information to cram in this little itty bitty hour that we're doing. I'm already hot as fuck with this big ass wig on. Good Lord Almighty. But yes, today is moon talk, baby. Moon talk. So first, I need to roll a fucking joint. That's what we got to do. That's what we gotta do. So how is everybody doing today? Are we good? We are good. We have Madam T. Hello, sweetheart. How the fuck are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm hot already.
Well, you're always hot, babe.
Woo! I might have to make an intermission in this and switch wigs or something because this one's going to be a hot one. I could already tell. Is Miss Tilly ready? She is. We have Little Witch Tilly in the house today. She is starting from the beginning today. We're so excited. Yay!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Hello, Annie N. Welcome. Annie N. won the giveaway yesterday. She gets the High Magic book.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
Congratulations to Annie.
Lucky. How fun. We just talked about weed and, well, you know, mind-altering substances and witchcraft last week. So I don't know if you were there for that episode, Annie, but lots of stuff on there.
Yes, absolutely. And we have our Happy Faye here.
Hello, hello. How are we doing?
Fabulous. Cam, how are you, darling?
I'm doing amazing. Happy Sunday, all.
Yes, happy Sunday, everybody. Jackie, hello, sweetheart. It's wonderful to see you. T, love the color of your hair, says Annie. She is loving that wig.
Thank you.
Okay, this wig is crazy.
This was real.
Holy smokeroni is this wig.
Once I quit my day job, it might become real. But we'll see.
And we have Chica joining the gang.
Sorry.
Hello.
What's that? Good. Once you passed 4, I'm loving your name. Good.
Yeah.
Good way to put that. How are you, sweetheart? I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome.
Yes, welcome.
And
So
speaking of, it's only 7 minutes to 4:20, so get ready. If you need
Get
to
ready.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Get ready. That's right. DJ Roadrunner, hello, sweetheart. How are
Hey.
you?
Oh,
I need to roll one up real quick before 4:20.
Yeah, I know. I'm breaking up some bud right now. I'm not prepared.
Trying to fix my wig at the same time. I'm wigging out, you guys. I'm wigging out. I like the short wigs better, not gonna lie. They're a lot less cool, or a lot more cool.
Oh, I bet.
Hello, Soil Life. Hello,
Yes,
Kike.
hello.
What's up?
Kike is a new member on our Canna Coven Facebook group. She created a Facebook just to be in the group. So
Oh, that's pretty
Aw.
good.
welcome, sweetheart. And
Oh, that's amazing.
also, I should say that just so we can start that off a little bit before we hit 4:20. We did create a Canna Coven Facebook group. It is a private group. It's just getting off the ground, but if y'all want to look for it, there's several out there. It has our logo, the Canna Coven logo that you see on the screen. So that's how you'll be able to find us.
I am
You're
going
more than happy. We're more than happy to have you. You're more than welcome to join.
Hell yeah.
20 past 4 says, where does it say witches should smoke weed?
I know.
Where does it say witches?
Where does it say they-
Well,
Tell me where it says we shouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I was just about to say that.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo. All right, I got my joint rolled just in time. What do we got here?
Oh wait, hold on. Let me pack
Oh,
it
we
all.
got that.
We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes till 4:20, guys. Hello, Goliath. How are you, darling?
Goliath.
Everybody. So yes, today we're talking about the moon.
The moon.
The moon. Does anybody have anything to say in chat about the moon so far, since we're just getting started? I
Yeah.
got lipstick all over my joint now.
Aw.
It's sexy. It's all right. The price.
Oh shit. Hello,
yeah.
Bacon 420. Stick built. Satan is your daddy. Miss
Oh
Chicken
yeah.
Boy.
Hello.
All right. So we are almost at 4:20. I don't want to get started on my spiel until we hit 4:20 because God knows I'm going to talk right the fuck through it.
Hell yeah.
So let's just tick-tock and wait for that fucking 4:20 to pull around so we can celebrate that real quick before we get started, I'd say. So what is everybody smoking on today? Let's start out with that. I've got some sour diesel in my joint.
I got some AOG in my bowl.
Banana punch.
That'll touch.
Me, I have a lilac diesel cart. Where I'm at, I can't smoke weed freely, so I've got this today.
Yes.
Yay.
The low-key cart move. I like it.
Nice.
Oh. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Nope. Tilly, you are muted.
I was going to say,
Oh.
I know. Okay.
you're still muted.
Uh-oh.
Can you unmute? You can't unmute?
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Dang, nabbit.
Mercury retrograde. Finally, it's
Yep,
over. Mercury went direct this morning at like 3:00 in the morning, but there's a little gray to that. It's still in its shadow period, and it'll be in its shadow period. I think it's like the 24th or the 26th. But right about that time, Venus will finally be coming out of her shadow period as well. So things should start to improve.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Starting to come out of some of the retrogrades. That's kind of nice. That
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we had like
is kind of nice. Okay, we need to take.
you guys saw Tilly frozen on your screen. It's a beautiful smile.
We got Tilly on here twice. Hang on.
Yeah. I was going to say, dang, girl, you got a twin?
Wow.
There we go. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
baby. Fantastic.
Woo.
All right, we got 2 more
420
minutes.
yet?
2
I was like,
more
no, I did
minutes.
not miss
Get it
420.
packed. Get it packed.
Get it packed.
Well, 4:20. I'm seeing your comment. It's a little disappointing to read. What dude could put up with the witch bullshit? So we try to focus on positivity here. You know, that's just kind of the name of the game. So we just ask that you guys be respectful and try to keep an open mind. And if you find that that may be too difficult, you know, there's no hard feelings. You can leave. It's not a big deal. It's not for everybody.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
That is very true.
20 past 4, just to let you know, most witches really don't deal with the bullshit either.
I was gonna say I would be hard pressed. I feel like to find a man who would say no to me because of witchcraft. Like I'm crazy and a half. Like if you're gonna say no because of the witchcraft, like, I miss
I hear you.
No problems, buddy. No.
That is the
we have
least of your
bigger
worries. That
problems
is
than
actually the
that.
icing on top.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It truly-
No, I'm actually very peaceable. I don't deal with drama. I don't want drama. It stays out of my life as far as I can fucking let it get and make it, basically. Yeah, baby. Okay, I think we hit 420. Did we pass it? Oh, no. 1 more minute.
Nope. 1 more minute. 1 more minute.
Nope, I'm not single.
Yeah, girls like us do not stay single for long, actually.
He's like 100% single. He really wants to just. That's
Rawr.
okay.
That's all right. I'm gonna inhale the good on this 420 and exhale the bad.
Fuck
There you
yeah.
go.
Happy 420,
Right there,
guys.
baby.
Cheers.
We need to exhale 20 past 4's negative aspect of witches.
Twisted. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers, Twisted Heart. Honey. Mr. JDW, the white Tupac. Hello, everybody. Tanya is in the house. Hello. Choking on my fucking joint. Okay. So let's get this fucking party started, shall we?
Hell yeah.
Now that we got that 420 down under our belts.
I also, sorry.
No, Cam, go ahead, babe.
I was just going to say that I'm in the chat as Cami Archambault. So if you see that person, that's me. And I probably should have said that a while ago, but I just wanted to make that quick note. Thank you. And I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. We're just clarifying some things here.
I fucking love it. All right. So yes, we are talking about the moon today, and we're going to touch on a lot of different things of the moon. So we're going to cram a lot of probably, most likely, yes, indeed, a lot of information in one little hour of us. So I'm going to start out with kind of just letting you know that the moon is, and the way that we started to believe in the moon and its workings came from the ancient civilizations. And the reason why we started looking at the moon is for the purposes of seasonal growth of our farms and our, just the differences in the climates and making sure that you knew what was coming. So one of the things that I read recently actually was one of the ways that they would be able to tell if there was a storm coming is when there's a halo around the moon. So that was one of the reasons why, way back when, if they seen the halo around the moon, that they would actually, the audio is crackling. Okay.
Yes, that's what I thought I heard that too, Twisted.
Can we have everybody mute until the next person talks, just so we make sure? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm like, that's the only thing I can come up with. So yes, as I was saying, they used to see when they used to see a halo around the moon. One of the examples is they would see that as a forthcoming storm, so that they would get ready for the storm coming. So that's one of the examples that they would have, that I give you, on how they would look at the moon and work with the moon, if you will. Now, in modern times, we hear a lot of moons being called different things, like the buck moon or the cornflower moon or things like that. And those were things that were given, those were names that were given to the moon way back then as well, based on also the different types of the different seasons of the year. Like the buck moon is in the spring when, they shed their antlers and stuff like that, things like that. So it's based off of their experiences with the moon, as well as the different types of seasons with the moon. So that is how the moon in itself came to be so powerful within society way back then, if you want to call it society, but way back then, it was a way of life. They literally had to pay attention to what was happening so that they could live and thrive. So besides that, there's all kinds of other things that, that the moon really does for the earth itself. And that's all physical and scientific. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the floor for anybody else who wants to touch on that as well.
I could say, I guess historically, the moon's also been associated and highly used, for navigation, just for people knowing where they are, and what time, what date, if they're on track, if you're sailing a ship, you need to be at this point on the earth by when the moon looks like this, so it's been definitely associated with like lots of different things. Like lots of different cultures use it spiritually, like so many different interpretations of the meanings of the different phases and how you can incorporate that in spiritual practices. So I think it was very well said by Amber.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Tilly. I was like, literally, I'm scrambling for my notes. I'm like, shit, they're all.
I know. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
looking at them.
everything. Okay. So there is 8 phases of the moon, and each the moon takes about a month to cycle. It takes a month to go through its cycle. And we're in our 3rd quarter, and the next new moon is July 20th. And why do we see these different phases? Because the sunlight hits different parts of the moon here on Earth. We see the parts of it hidden by the sun. So it's just reflecting. That's why we see the crescent. That's why we see the different phases, why it turns. Moon phases are important, just like, the world. It needs to change. It needs to evolve. Hold on. Oh, no. So the first, of course, we're going to start with the new moon. During the phase of the new moon, it's between the Earth and the sun, which means none of the lunar half we'll see is illuminated, and the moon becomes nearly invisible in the night sky. We can see this phase only during a solar eclipse. And then we got waxing crescent as the moon illuminates surface increase. And then stage known as waxing, and it's crescent as long as it's less than half full. First quarter. This phase is when half the moon is illuminated and the percentage of the lit surface is still increasing. And then you got wax gibbon? Gideous. Ha. When the moon is more than half full and still increasing, its illuminating surface is called a waxing giddings. Yeah. What am I? And then we got the full moon. This phase of the moon is behind this phase. The moon is behind the Earth, which respects to the sun, and in its face is fully illuminated. This is when we can sometimes see the lunar eclipse.
Yes, absolutely. One thing, I don't mean to interrupt, Chicha, but
no, go ahead.
I was all over the place when I started because I was all like worried about 420. Ha!
Yeah, no, go ahead. Let me get back to it.
I did forget to mention in regards to how people see the moon as a lot of people see the moon as feminine, and it's also seen as a goddess as well. I personally don't do goddesses and deities myself, but a lot of people do. The Wiccan religion sees the moon as the goddess, the triple moon goddess. I'm sorry, it's windy and I've got doors opening everywhere over here. And with the triple moon goddess, that has 3 different aspects of the moon, which is 3 different aspects of the woman: the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The maiden being the building of the moon and the coming into your adulthood and motherhood. Excuse me, the full moon being the mother, the impregnated moon with the mother, and then the crone being when the moon wanes and diminishes. That is the old age of the crone, and the wise, the knowing. So a lot of different religions, or not religions, a lot of different societies, is that the right word? Tribes, different things like that. They look at the women, at the moon, as feminine, but there's also tribes that look at it as male, as a masculine as well. So it's a lot less, but for the most part, the moon is seen as a feminine being, as feminine energy. So yeah, wanted to say that.
I would like to say, I think like the reason, because like the reason that is it's a recurring theme in so many different traditions and cultures, is because when you look at the connection between the moon and women, you can see that on average, a female menstrual cycle is roughly like 29 and a half days, which is the length of time between 2 separate full moons.
Yeah.
And another thing to note is an average female pregnancy lasts 266 days, which is roughly the length of time between 10 full moons. So it's interesting to see how women, especially in their fertile years, can be affected by the lunar cycle.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Lily. Chili. I was reading Lily's comment and I was going to say chili.
Okay, so the waning Gideon. I am so sorry for pronouncing these wrong. Gideon? Yeah.
Give me
Yeah. This is the stage when the moon then half lit but illuminates surface. We can see it decreasing. And then last but not least, the last quarter, the quarter that we are in right now. During this phase, the moon is once again half illuminated, but the lit area that's invisible is on the decline. Oh, wait, no. The waning crescent? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, that's the last one. Sorry, guys. I haven't got it all together. Anyways. As the next new moon here, the moon shrinks back to a crescent that's less than half. Oh. So, yes, I got those. Those are all the phases. And
Lily says, yes, I was waiting for period talk. Oh, too funny. Like the ocean, we were drawn to it. Yes, Tanya. And that's one thing too. The moon draws so many different aspects of just the world on its, from keeping the earth on its axis to, just the tides. I mean, there's so much that the moon does just to keep us alive. Not necessarily just to, go to that energy of the moon, but yeah, so many factoids. So does anybody else want to say anything about the phases of the moon? And how we work with them?
like, some people with the new moon, it's known as like banishing, cursing, divination. Good start for life, love, and career. So like new beginnings with new moon, you gotta think like it's new, it's fresh. And if you look at the cycles, if you look at it from the new moon to the last one, it's like it's going through that phase, it's changing. So with the new, it's fresh, it's new. And then you got the waxing crescent, putting together plans, you're planning, because as you're moving forward with this new moon, you're planning. And then you got the first quarter with growth and strength, and as you're planning, you're going to grow and strengthen all that. And then with the waxing, with the traction, success, health, motivation, final stages of planning, finalizing, as the moon, it's getting closer, it's almost halfway. So it's like if you're planning things and you're trying to like, move forward or, and then you got the full moon, protection, banishing, cleansing, charging, healing, heart desire, go after it. Charge yourself, cleanse your space. The waning, cleansing and negativity, undoing curses and hexes and getting rid of energy. Maybe you have some bad energy you got to get rid of. I don't know. In the last, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was coughing.
In the last quarter, you got breaking bad habits, ridding of negativity, mental and physical, cleansing, and then the waning of meditation, balancing, and rid of illness. So, those are just things I found. And if you look at it, with the last phase of it, with meditation and balancing and ridding of illness, like you're getting rid of the badness and you're trying to balance all these ideas and success and everything that you have been planning. If you follow the moon or, whatever, it's just, finally getting that new step. And then with the new moon, with it being new, and it's a good start for life, love, and career, all those ideas that you're trying to do, it's more, I guess, powerful with the new moon, I guess you would say, because it's fresh again, it's fresh and new and all that. Yeah, so I mean,
I love it. Hell yeah. So definitely pay attention to the phases of the moon. Cammie, you were going to say something, sweetheart. What are you going to say?
I was just gonna like add on to that with the whole like clean slate. So I'm I'm sorry. I have trouble with the speaking up. Thank you, Annie. But anyway, I was just gonna add on to that. So like in my practice, I love paying attention to. I'm more getting into like the crescents and stuff, and the waning and waxing. But I've kind of started out with the full moon and the new moon, knowing that the full moon was time for me to purge and get rid of everything and just shake it all off and like deal with all the shit, And then the new moon is like, okay, cool, clean slate, time to like get things into action, like some reflection, some like just like planning, getting it rolling, getting the ball rolling. And then, back to purging again and starting it all over. And so like I like how you went into detail on the waning and the waxing. Waning, you can slowly be planning and getting rid of shit and
right,
like building that up. So I love that. And yeah, I've been recently learning spells on like waning moons. Like waning moons are good for protection spells. I've been learning.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
And also with the beach, the moon phases, yeah, oh my gosh, like so the full moons, it's always sloshy, like almost always.
Aha. So some actual being at the beach, you can literally see what that moon is doing to that water.
So this last Scorpio moon was crazy, beautiful orange. I went there for sunrise to the beach and we did this ritual offering. And it was just so magical. And like the waves were sloshy. The orange was pink and big. The orange. The moon was like pink and orange and big. It was beautiful. But yeah. So you can definitely tell the difference. You can definitely like see the way it affects people and the ocean. You definitely tell the difference in the phases.
I mean, I know, like, especially when it's like going through a hard change, I can definitely feel it. I feel restless. I'm either can't go to sleep or I wake up. Why am I waking up at 3 a.m.? I just went to bed at like midnight, yeah, definitely. I can definitely feel it. Cheers.
It's most noticeable during the full moon. Like research shows, like during full moons, like murders, suicides, crime, traffic accidents all kind of go up. And a lot of people believe it kind of has to do with like the moon's gravitational pull, as well as the effects of gravity on our own physical bodies. Like the moons cause the tides, and our bodies are about 80% water. And yeah, like I think that's where the rune of the lunatic comes from, is like from people acting crazy on the full moon, is because so they like made a word for it, lunatic.
That's exactly right. That's exactly where that word did come from. Yep.
Can I just say my daughter was actually born on a blood moon. And some people confuse that with what is it called? A beaver moon? No. A red moon, but it's different. It reflects different for a blood moon. And also going back to with the whole like magnetic pole and everything, a lot of children, a lot of babies are born on like full moons and that because of the energy. Like when I got into the hospital that morning, like it was full within 2 hours. So it's like there is like some kind of connection with that. One of my friends had her son on a supermoon. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
So with the moon and all of its workings and all of its phases, we draw that energy into ourselves, into what we need. That's one of those amazing things about the moon is that, we feel that energy it gives. So why not tap into that energy and, help it in your life, which is what part of witchcraft is, in a sense. So with that, we're going to let Madam T talk about the energy and how she draws her energy from the moon. And after that, we'll see how everyone else draws theirs.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. This has been such a great talk, you guys.
Oh yeah, I know. I love it.
I really resonate with the moon representing the feminine, and this is coming from someone who is all masculine and fire in her chart. So I'll just put that out there. There are many, many, many ways to connect with the magic of the moon and to harness it in your daily life. The easiest thing that I would recommend if you're looking to connect, but you don't really know how, get a mason jar.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Cheech? You okay, Cheech?
Yeah, I
Okay.
disconnected. Sorry. My laptop's
He said
too
get
far
a
away.
mason jar with the moon, and I'm like, oh, I already know where this is going.
Yes. So grab a mason jar that's got a lid and fill it with, if you want to sterilize it, you can certainly sterilize it and then fill it with water that you would normally drink. And you can put the lid on and set it out in the full moon and then grab it in the morning. And you've just made moon water. And with that, if you have sterilized the jar and it's water that you, including the top, and it's water that you would normally drink, you can ingest it as you normally would. However, if you don't feel comfortable drinking the water, you can use it in baths. You can use it to clean your floors. You can use it to anoint tools. You can use it for all kinds of things. I make all different types of moon water. So blood moon, super moon, eclipses, which unless you are comfortable with working with moon water, I would recommend staying away from eclipse water. Certainly if you want to collect it because it's a novelty or something like that. But I would just be very, very cautious. I personally only work with certain eclipse water. And moon water is something I am comfortable working with. But if you're looking for other ways maybe to utilize the moon's energy in your practice, I'm a huge fan of like going all out. So like, the stereotypical like having a campfire and howling at the moon, like dancing naked around a campfire, like I've done it. I highly recommend it. However, if that's not really your thing, you don't have to do that. You can simply draw a bath, and maybe if you don't have any crystals or any other tools, but maybe you just have some bath salts, that's okay. Draw your bath, take the salts in your hands, and with intention in your mind, set the intention that you want, and then sprinkle the salts into the bath, and voila, that right there, that's magic.
Yes.
So I'm a huge fan of taking moon baths. And something else that I don't think has been brought up yet is actually, even though the moon itself is completely full for a very short period of time, it has the energy of a full moon for 3 days. The day before the full moon, the day of the full moon, and the day after. So if you get really stoned and you forget to charge your crystals, chances are you probably have another night to do it. So
yeah, it's usually 3 days.
yeah, just to kind of let you know about that. And I will say, as a woman, I have always been very affected by the moon. My mom used to talk about it from when I was very, very little, and it got really bad when I hit puberty. So I can definitely say that I am one of the people who is affected by the full moon. Now in my 30s, I've got a handle on it. It very rarely sneaks up on me, especially being a practitioner. But especially with my moon being in Aries, if I let myself get a little too carried away, things can be kind of nasty. So we don't do that here anymore. Yeah, so there are lots of simple, very effective ways to connect with the moon. There's a ritual, and I know it's popped up recently in pop culture. It's called drawing down the moon. And I want to preface this by saying I am not a practitioner of Wicca. I'm not a follower of the Wiccan belief system. But I can tell you this, my knowledge that was given to me from someone who is a high priestess involves that the drawing down of the moon is actually a Wiccan ceremony in which the power of the goddess of the moon, the triple goddess that Amber just had told us all about, they physically invoke her energy into their bodies. So it's not a ritual to be taken lightly. It's not something to be poked fun at or made fun of. So, just try to remember that some things that show up in pop culture may not be, authentically represented. So just kind of, try to have some respect and maybe do a little digging if questions come up or if you think, something doesn't sit well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I use moon water in a lot of things. I also use the energy of the moon to cleanse and charge my crystals, which is a very, very common practice. And it's best to, I would say there's a few different, there's two different main schools of belief. One is, and this is something we had just kind of talked about, if you are wanting something positive to happen, that you want to sync it up with the height of the spell being at the full moon. If you're wanting to increase. And then if you're wanting to decrease something or take something away, you can use the waning energy of the moon to rid yourself of things or rid your life of situations. Now, you can also put those in a negative and flip them, meaning if you are wanting to drive someone away from you and your goal is to push with energy away, then you can use the energy of the waxing moon. And likewise, if you're wanting to become invisible, if you're wanting to get more invisible, you can use the energy as the waning moon gets stronger to become more and more invisible or to have aspects of your life disappear. So it's really in your wording and your intention. But the more traditional belief is, letting go in the waning and planting at the new moon, whatever it is, ideas or what have you, and then nurturing that and having its apex be at the full moon. So
absolutely. Thank you for saying that, because I forgot. That's a very good point in regards to the whole reversal of things too, actually. Tilly, we were talking before in the green room. I like to call it the green room. You wanted to say a little something about like some historical things on witchcraft as well. I'd like to go ahead and, did you want to touch more on that stuff for us?
Yeah. If you guys want to hear about sort of how Kabbalists interpret
Yes, I love history.
Their energies.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and do it so we make sure and hear you all the way.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so Kabbalah is basically just Jewish witchcraft. It's a mystical interpretation of the Torah and other Jewish writings. And in Kabbalah, we believe that everything is sort of cause and effect, and the creator is the original cause, and anything that may have transpired after or will transpire after is effect. And the creator is likened to the sun, and we are likened to the moon, in that the creator gives his light, offers light, and we believe in Kabbalah, at least, these are all Kabbalist beliefs, but the effect, we cannot produce light ourselves. We represent the moon. We are simply a vessel to interpret and reflect and sort of channel that light. So our spiritual purpose coming into this world basically would to be interpreting that light and channeling it to remove darkness basically in the world, because the earth is another it's another effect. It doesn't produce its own light. And it's up to us on our spiritual paths in the world to channel that light, be a vessel for that light, and remove the darkness with that light. And another thing we believe, we see our world and ourselves like the moon, slowly building upon that light and growing and changing and learning. And we hope in Kabbalist beliefs that as you go through life and you learn your lessons and you learn to channel that light and be a vessel for it, you can eventually become one with that light. You will be filled with that light and be able to reflect it completely and channel it completely. You are one and the same at that point. And so that's sort of a representation of the phases of the moon. There is one book in the Torah called the Bamidbar. And in that book, the Jews have basically just escaped slavery in Egypt, and they're traveling through the desert. They're like lost as fuck. They don't know what the fuck's going on. And during this time, they really have to turn inwards and learn. It's the fourth book in the Torah, and they're really learning how to actually practically channel that light because they have nothing around them. And we find in the times of darkness, in the times that are devoid of light, such as is represented in that book, in being in the desert. Balmadir actually means in the desert in Hebrew. When you're in a place that's completely void of light, you have to become a vessel for that higher power and just the power of the world and, the universe, and be a vessel for it and be that full moon and reflect the light completely. That's basically, I hope I explained that well, or if that kind of made sense, but that's a basic rundown of Kabbalist interpretations of the moon and the sun and all that.
That made a lot of sense, sweetheart. And that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That was something that I think was very unique to really everything, everything. You heard it here first, everyone. No.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Toy, for that. That's I've been very interested in studying a little bit more Kabbalah. I like to study religions because all the religions bring forth all of the ancient studies anyway. So I like to kind of see what each religion has kind of plucked from each one and what they've focused on and things like that. It's interesting to me. I remember back in college, way back when, I had a world religions class. It was really fucking cool because I was in Illinois and I was in the Rockford area, and we took a trip, my field trip for the year. We literally went to all these different types of temples, of religious temples all across the Chicago area, and took a whole day trip, and it was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I may not be religious, but I absolutely respect and love to learn about them and know their practices. And it's important to at least know, Okay. You gotta at least know. Knowledge is power. Fucking A. That's right, baby. So, Cammie, I kind of want to go to you, my quiet little happy fae.
I know. She's so sweet.
You were talking in the green room earlier about basically your history and just viewing and seeing and in a way drawing down the mood yourself. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or are you good?
Yes. No, I'm sorry. I was having trouble unmuting.
Okay, no worries.
Technical difficulty. Okay. I would love to. Thank you. Actually, so I don't know, when it comes to the moon, I've always felt drawn by it. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've lived by the water. And just growing up, I just remember not knowing much about the moon, but just always like noticing it's like the way that like you said, the way people act freaking crazy on full moons, and just noticing how I felt more energetically wired and how I felt like that. So I like really noticed that, and also just, like I said, the waves, and just like noticing that and noticing the flow of life in general, like the pace of everything. You just feel it change. And so now in my practice, I love drawing the power of the moon in terms of like making moon water and purging and releasing and doing intentional crystal grids and doing intentional which I just learned to do, doing intentional healings and doing intentional, like I do a lot of burning ceremonies. So one of my favorite things ever is fire. I love fire. So when it comes to moons, I love just burning it all. Like I love writing down my intentions, putting some herbs that I feel go, and just like putting it in my little cauldron and just burn, baby, burn. So that's like a big thing that I do in my practice now with the lunar cycles, as especially with full moons, is just burning and smoking with it. I've actually in the past couple years have gotten more intentional with weed smoking in the lunar cycles. Like on a full moon, I learned to do a ceremony smoking weed and releasing. And I swear, if you guys ever try it, like just meditating and smoking weed, it's like a whole nother experience. It can be like so good. So that's like a cool like full moon ceremony thing that, and new moon, you can also do it with intention setting as well as releasing and burning. And when it comes to full moons, I like to charge my crystals under them. And I know a lot of you guys like to do that too. And yeah.
Yeah, I sure do.
I know. I love to do that. That's one of my favorite things ever, is like kind of like it's nice to have that advantage almost of like knowing the energies in a way. Like obviously,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, but just like knowing you can like getting into that flow and touching up on the whole femininity with tea. I'm the same way. I have so much fire and masculine energy in my chart, and learning that you literally use breathing techniques to help you get in touch with that feminine moon energy. You can breathe through your left nostril. The left side of your body is correlated with feminine, aka the moon, and those pulls. And just doing those simple breathing techniques can really help you and kind of ground you into that feminine, softer, slower side of things.
Taking a step back and getting into that energy. That's actually something I love to do, is get into my feminine energy. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, is that, you know, that feminine energy, we really do associate with the moon a lot, you know, and yeah, it's important to be able to notice that from the moon, I think. Absolutely. Does anybody else want to share anything about the moon?
Well,
I like looking at it.
I like looking at it.
my first spell that I ever wrote in my spell book actually was like a full
Tilly.
moon luck spell, just like a really simple
Yeah.
chant.
Speak up just a little bit, sweetheart. You're breaking up just a little.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, my first spell that I ever wrote in my grimoire spell book sort of thing was a full moon luck spell. And it's just like a simple chant. If you guys want to hear it, maybe try it out. I think it's interesting too, because we're talking about how the moon is associated with feminine energies and all of that. And a thing people say is lady luck, like, you know, like, oh, I hope you have lady luck on your side. Which is sort of a personified character, portrayed as having some sort of influence on chance in human lives. So it's a lady luck full moon spell. And it goes like this. When the moon's full, you simply chant these words. Lady of luck, come out tonight. Bless your light upon me. As the light of the moon shines above, in this light, bless me with your luck until the moon is next to be full. And it should sort of work until the next full moon. And if you want to chant it again to keep your luck, you can sort of do that. But that was like the first thing that I remember knowing and thinking, I should write this down. Pretty funny. The lady luck spell.
I just realized I was fucking on mute. Gotta love Lady Luck. Like, oh shit, nobody can hear me. I want to go to chat here. I haven't looked at chat. Most of the freaking, I've been back and forth with it. I want to give my condolences to Mark Goudreau. He just let us know in chat that his mom did pass today, so I don't know what the reasoning was behind it, sweetheart, but light and love to you, my darling. All the healing energy to you and your family to get through this. I'm very sorry. Very sorry for your loss, sweetheart.
Very sorry. How can I?
Hello, everybody else who's come in. Tony, Dank, Hi Spy. Who else is here? My goodness, I'm trying to see everybody.
Sparks a lot.
Is Mr. Sparks a lot here? Mr. Sparks a lot. Hello, sweetheart. 20 past 4. You're still here. How about that?
Yeah, I know.
You're sticking around for out of some curiosity there, aren't you, how buddy? Thank you, everybody who is sticking around for us today. At all about the moon and working with the moon energies, the moon phases, the history of the moon. Let's go ahead and speak up, and we can answer. And we also
anybody have questions
after party as soon as well. But yeah, on that note, let's go ahead and take a fucking hit, everybody.
I'm almost done with all this.
We didn't even pause this whole time, you guys. This was like information hour.
How was the information, guys? Was it taken?
Yeah, was it overwhelming? Did we miss something? Let us know.
Told you.
Definitely appreciate any feedback that you guys can give us. We're very open.
I mean, the different moon names, do you guys know that? I seen that. I was like, that's interesting. Like a strawberry moon. I love the strawberry moon.
That's the full moon of June, in case you didn't know.
Yep.
That's this little Gemini babes.
What else is it also called?
There's a couple of books. I know that Chicha has this book,
the Moonology book. That's a good
Moon
book.
Magic. These are my reference books myself, and they have a lot of amazing knowledge in them. The links are actually down below. I'm trying to do that more for people who are interested in these things. There's an Amazon link below for you to go ahead and purchase the book if you want. So, but yeah. A lot of good information in those.
Yeah, I like the Moonology book. I was reading it this morning. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but do you also know what June's moon is called? It's strawberry and something else that's also known. Does anybody know? Hot. Like January, it's known as a wolf moon, but some people call it an old moon or an ice moon. So I don't know.
I like the wolf moon. That's my favorite.
Yeah. February is a snow moon, also known as a hunger moon. March, I think that's warm moon.
The worm moon.
WORM.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, it's not warm. But it's also known as death, crush, and sap. Sorry, it's like really tiny and scrubbly, like all scribbled. So I'm trying to understand my own writing. Right now, I didn't have enough time to get it all fancified. April, pink moon, also known as a sprouting moon, green moon, egg moon, fish moon.
So it's rose moon.
May, also known as flower moon. Heart moon. I don't know. And then corn moon and milk moon.
Milk moon, I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I've heard that term before too. Yeah. And then you got July, the buck moon, also known as thunder.
20 past 4. I absolutely appreciate your opinion and I respect your opinion, but you also need to respect ours and respect
Yes.
our chat and respect my live. And if you do not agree with this, do not be here and leave. Okay? Plain and fucking simple, babe. And we are not praying. Those can be here are here. Those who want to be here are here. Those who want to leave are free to leave. And I'm asking you to please leave before I need to forcibly leave you or somebody else will. So thank you very much. Again, I respect your opinion, but I'm tired of your comments now.
Yeah, I haven't really been looking. Oh, well. Thank you, Jackie.
Yes, we only need love and positivity here and open minds because we are looking to sway nor manipulate anyone.
Mhm.
We only
We're not soliciting.
focus
We're
on
not asking
healing
for
and
anything.
our crafts.
We're just-
And the whole name of the game in healing, like what I've always learned with energy work and with healing in general and just with life is as a healer and as a practitioner of craft, you're usually just facilitating energy flow. You're facilitating people's own ability to discern and make their own decisions and heal themselves, you know? So like I just wanted to touch on that. I just feel like that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know? We don't seek to control, we seek to flow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're not forcing anybody to be here. If you want to be here, be here. If you want to leave, leave. We're just sitting here and we're trying to give out the information that we know. And we just want to, if you don't like it, then leave.
I know everyone here wants to be here. We're speaking to Mr. 20, whatever his name is.
Right? And we always say, we put a disclaimer, hey, if you want to know about this, Google it more. Like do your own research, always come from a place of knowledge, but we are always willing to discuss whatever from our own, we can only discuss from our own personal viewpoints of life.
Yeah.
All right. So
Moving on.
moving on.
Thank you guys in the chat so much for your support right now.
I know. Can we give a shout out to that? Yeah.
Thank you guys. You're
Yeah.
all amazing.
Thank you.
I just want to give everybody a great big fucking hug. Thank you so much for supporting us without being like, fuck you, you know? Great. Because I mean, I was a little tense on the inside. I was like, come on, my girl again.
Tilly, were you going to say something? I feel like you were going to say something. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I just while I was ignoring 420 in the chat, 20 past 4, I saw Jacob had a good question that he asked you, Amber. I don't know if you saw.
I did
but
see
he
that.
said
I did.
something like, how do you store your crystals, or how should you store your crystal? Does it matter if I store gems in a box or bowl, and if it's wood, pottery, or etc.? So that's a good question. I think it doesn't really matter. I feel like whatever you like works, but
Yeah.
just keep in mind that some crystals don't like the sun, like some crystals don't like dampness or moisture. So just keep those things in mind.
Yeah.
You should be golden.
Yeah. Which actually,
Yeah, all my crystals are like in a
the
bowl.
crystal
in my
gems
kitchen.
like the back of your hand, so you got no problem knowing that one.
I have some that just like live next to me at any given time.
I mean, I got a couple right here just next to me. You know, I got an amethyst and
I think we all have some within arm's reach for sure.
Yeah. At all times.
clear.
Lava rock on.
Smoke and elevate, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, and I've got my brand new
I
piece
put
of
orange and peppermint on my lava rock this morning, like you told me.
No
Orange and
problem, you guys
peppermint
are
on the
cool. That
block.
was a very
Yeah.
odd perspective.
sidebar.
Oh, you did do the orange and peppermint?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Like energizing, uplifting, happy. So good.
Sidebar,
Yes, girl.
real quick.
I'm
If
so
you-
glad
If you
you
ever
enjoyed
need
it.
a distance healing, I got you.
Always.
Okay. If that combination works, for
oil
you, let me know. I got you. Okay, sorry. Moving on.
To be time.
All right.
So we're basically about to move on.
I think we are about to move on to our after party. If anybody wants to stick around, we're
done.
after party up here in a couple minutes after we shut this one down.
What are we talking about next week?
Yes. What are we talking about next week? Well, this has been something that's actually been kind of exciting, and we've wanted to start it, and we've always talked about starting it, and we know it's like going to be a series, so we just decided to, guys, dive in, really. We're going to start with crystals next week, a series on crystals, and we're going to start in a color coordination type of format. So we're going to start at the bottom with black and brown crystals and stones. Their properties, how you can use them, different things like that. Of course, we're not going to be able to hit on every single fucking stone because there's so goddamn many. But we're gonna split some stones up and talk about them a piece. Whoever can be on the panel next week, and we're gonna go from there. So we're gonna go in the level of the chakra colors. So we're going to start with black, and then we're going to go with the reds, and then the oranges, the yellows, the greens, the blues, and then on upwards. So that's going to be a series that's going to happen for quite a while, for probably a couple months. So we're going to be talking crystals for a minute, guys. And I think all of us are very fucking excited about it, because who doesn't fucking love crystals?
It seems like the chat loves crystal. They cannot wait.
And then I know the week after that we're cooking up something a little special. So that's the only teaser that you get, but you're definitely going to want to stick around.
Yeah, we're having a little something extra at the end of the last Saturday of the month. Just a little.
Just a little exercise.
So I would like to close out this before we go ahead and start our after party live. Again, come to our after party, ask your questions there. We have the live panel up. You can fucking Streamlabs did a wonderful thing, and we can have up to 10 goddamn people now. It's amazing. So
oh, and you guys, I get to say this because I don't have a big channel, but you should definitely check out the rest of Amber's channel and Chicha B. I'm going to say down here. Ooh, I pointed the right way. Good job. Definitely check out her channel too. Show them both some love, you guys.
Absolutely.
Aw, thank you.
Absolutely. And with that, I'm going to let Tilly close us out with her beautiful chant. If everybody remembers it, this is it, you guys. See you in the after party.
Get your smokes up. Smokes up.
Hold on. Here we go.
Lighters up. Ready? And what we say is sky above.
Sky above.
Smoke within.
Smoke
Earth below.
So, to repeat, that was sky above, earth below, smoke within. Yeah.
And out you blow.
Catch y'all in 5 minutes on the after party.
Yes, we'll be back, you guys, real soon. Keep an eye out.
Hey.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.